Check one, check two. Let's go live. Let's go. Live, live. We're live. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. It's called for God. Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, la 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 la, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare, religious freedom, religious freedom. That's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about affirmative action. What is affirmative action? You've heard the term before, right? Affirmative action is when someone of a lesser skill set, someone who simply can't penetrate a job market or a social circle, because of their inadequacies, their noticeable and marked inadequacies. And some will attest that that has to do with race or gender or, I don't know, maybe shoe size or fucking how big your nose is, right? Your physical appearance, right? And there's, in the United States of America, there are laws, and in Europe as well, where if you have these social defects, as they call them, then you can move to the front of the line in some way. In college admissions, for many, many years, you were allowed to claim that you had some sort of disadvantage, some sort of minority status. And you would be allowed into that school regardless of your academic ability. Right, and then you get there, and then you fall on your face because you're not prepared for it. All right, so this notion of affirmative action in America is deep and penetrating, and now you can see it on display, right, with Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris is the first affirmative action. I'll say that first affirmative action Democratic pick. Now, you could argue that Hillary Clinton was an affirmative action pick. They picked her because she's a woman. But Hillary Clinton had some momentum. In this case, this is like a coup that leads to the appointment of the affirmative action candidate. Right? There's no conversation. There's no battling other candidates, battling of ideas. This is appointment. Kamala Harris has been appointed as the leader of the Democratic Party to face off against Trump. And I will say, Trump needs to worry about this. There's a lot of people in America. You could see the polls are already changing. The polls now have only Trump up by only one. In some states, in some polls, they have Trump and Kamala Harris running even. So this is going to get. This is going to get crazy. Again, there's many. I'm the least racist person in the room, but there are a lot of racist people in America, in the sense that they're going to vote for Kamala Harris because she's black. There's also women who are going to vote for Kamala Harris because she's a woman. Now, is that fair and just? Well, it is. You can vote for whoever you want. Is it fair and just to have put Kamala Harris up there as the candidate through affirmative action? Now, is that a stretch to say that Kamala Harris was placed as the vice president through affirmative action? Absolutely. The evidence is in Joe Biden doing it. Joe Biden says he's looking for a black woman. He did it with the Supreme Court, Ketanji Jackson Brown. I need a black woman to run the Supreme Court. Right. So these are affirmative action measures in society, in American society right now. And you're seeing it, at this late stage of the empire as now the other is now becoming reality, right? Was Barack Obama, that's a better example. Was Barack Obama the affirmative action candidate? No. Barack Obama was a rock star, right? Barack Obama had the political talent of a Michael Jordan on the basketball court. And that's why he excelled, and that's why he became the candidate of the people in 2008. Kamala Harris we're not talking about the same thing. No one said to Barack Obama, we're going to make you the president because you're black. No, they said Hillary Clinton and the Clintons famously said he can't win because he's black. So this is actually very, very, very unique in American politics. We are seeing the first affirmative action candidate placed there because of her gender and her race, almost exclusively, right? Because upon further investigation, she doesn't really have the talent that many, many other candidates do have. For example, Bernie Sanders or Elizabeth Warren, or even fucking Amy Klobuchar, Shaky Amy, right? Or Pete Buttigieg. Right? None of those names are now in the mix anymore. The people that ran in primaries and addressed the public. Kamala Harris in the 2020 primary fell on her face and quit when Tulsi Gabbard knocked her unconscious on the debate stage, figuratively. And so has Kamala Harris had a change of heart because now she's the sitting vice president for all these years? That she changed her mind? Well, maybe she did, but does it really matter? How did you get there in the first place? Right? How many favors have you delivered to honorary blacks, because they're black? This is a fucked up problem in America right now. Right? This is called racism, by the way. Whether you want to define it as reversal, the racism, whatever that means, it's reverse discrimination, as if the word discrimination applies only to blacks, right, or one type of people, right? So it's reverse. What does that mean? What does it mean to be reversed? It's stupid. So we're going to look at that argument. I'm going to make the argument today that Kamala Harris, the selection of Kamala Harris violates the 14th Amendment because it is it's a form of discrimination, right? And the high courts have already decided that affirmative action in college entries, where you get an extra couple of points on the college entry exam and you get pushed to the front of the line at Harvard, that has been ruled by the Supreme Court to be unconstitutional. So why? And that was in 2022 or 23. Now, why is Joe Biden still doing it? See, Kamala Harris squeaked between the cracks. Kamala Harris beat the unconstitutionality of it by being appointed in 2020. Right? But it's still there, right? See, the victim is the American people. The culprit is Joe Biden. Joe Biden did this. He's the old school 80-year-old white guy who still thinks that America is living in the 1960s and blacks are, Rosa Parks is still on the bus. In Joe Biden's mind, Kamala Harris is Rosa Parks, the little brown girl on the bus who refused to move to the back of the bus. That's who Kamala Harris is. She's Rosa Parks, right? Rosa Parks is leading the Democratic Party. Right. So look at this thing. This is my thumbnail. There she is, the glorious, glamorous Kamala Harris. So we're gonna have a lot to say about Kamala Harris. I mean, she's fucking for another 5 months. We got to deal with this. And if she wins, oh no, what happened? Right? Is it now? Ask yourself, Kamala Harris. You say Kamala Harris, she can't win. Oh fucking yes, she can win. Yes, she can win. Why? because the Democrats cheat. They control half the governor's seats in America. They control the House of Representatives. They control, 48 out of 50 seats in the Senate, and they cheat. All right, so can they cheat Kamala Harris in? Abso-fucking-lutely they can cheat her in, right? And so everybody needs to be on guard. Trump has a new obstacle in that he's punching. It's good to punch your opponent. He's punching a black woman, and how he does that is going to be very important, right? Trump doesn't believe in affirmative action. He doesn't. He thinks like most Americans, it was a thing of the past. At some point, when the discrepancies and the disparity between people is so great, right? When you say these people have everything over here and those people over there have nothing, right? Then you might say affirmative action is possible or necessary for a little while, and then you throw it out once equity and equanimity is achieved, or some blacks can move up in the pile, right? But you don't keep it there forever. Affirmative action was not meant to be permanent. It was meant to be a little bump at the bottom to get people rolling, not at the fucking top of government, where you have a woman who is not liked by the American people, and you pick her as the vice president because she's a black fucking woman. Right, so these are the issues of the issue that I'm going to try to tackle today. Good morning, everybody in the chat. Vinny D. Martini on the wrench. Good morning. Weevil Girl in the house. Cas Philly Camden. Crypto Corner. What's up? What's up? Colossal Bigfoot. Cas Philly Camden. Said your name twice. William R. Hall. Good morning. I got your pictures, William. I totally forgot. I'll put your pictures up tomorrow. Thank you for sending your art my way. I saw it, and I just realized that when I saw your name that I didn't go through the email. But I will. I like the work with the cats. You're brilliant. Talking about William R. Hall in the chat. He's an artist. Hey, William, have you ever heard of Daniel Johnston? Check out his work. Daniel Johnston. He's a musician, but he's also a pretty good artist. Check him out. And Gunnob, what's up, everybody? So thank you all for joining me. Marcus Conte, we're live every morning, 9 a.m. right here on YouTube. And it's 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in the United States of America. That's where we're broadcasting. You can contribute to the program through Zelle, shorthappylife@gmail.com, or PayPal, Patreon. And let's start here. We have new body cam footage of the assassin on the roof, on the Trump roof. Let's look. Let's see what we got here. What do we got? Here's a bunch of cops looking over a dead body, and check out the long stream of blood. Right, they blew this guy's fucking head off, and he leaked. He bled out on the roof. Check it out.
So this is the guy that
yes, that they sent Beaver County sniper scene and sent the pictures out. This is him.
Okay, all right.
Rifle right there, obviously.
Got it. So
boom. So there you go. You've got. Hey, sir, there's him.
Okay, all right.
There's the rifle, sir. What kind of rifle is it? Because this is about as close to anything we may ever get. It looks like some kind of AR weapon. I don't see a scope on it. People were arguing a scope. I don't see a tripod on it. All right, so it looks like, based on this evidence right here, the shooter was shooting without a tripod, without a scope, which is reason that's probably why he missed the shot, right? The sharpshooters have all of that equipment, right? And they fucking blew his head off in one shot. All right, but this kid missed. He fired the gun 3 times and he missed.
Rifle right there, obviously.
Got it.
So we see the rifle. That's good.
So the bike in the back. Is he on that bike?
We don't know.
We don't know. So
I don't know.
Treating that as suspicious device.
Correct. 1 second. I believe the sniper that seen these and sent the pictures is right inside this building. Michelle, is Greg in there? All right, so if you go to that window that's open and yell for Greg, that's the sniper that sent the original pictures and seen him come from the bike and set the book back down and then lost sight of him.
So here's all of the fucking talk, right? All this is official, right? These are the police on the scene talking to some higher police guy, FBI guy, whatever, and describing what the fuck just happened, right? And you're hearing all the details, right? This was a shooting. There's no doubt about it. They knew that the shooter was on the roof.
He's the one that sent the pictures out. I don't know if you got the same ones I did.
I think I did, yeah. He's like got his glasses on and he's
Look at the stream of blood. Look at the stream of blood. This smear right here. This is him laying on the ground. There's the gun. There's the stream of fucking blood, and he's basically, because the roof is slanted. All the blood is heading down.
So we had the picture of that.
Watch your head down below. You're gonna get dripped on by assassin blood.
I got that.
Okay. And then this is his bike with the stuff. And our sniper seen him walking away from that, I believe.
Okay.
But he would be right inside that window. He's the one that physically seen this, sent the pictures, and called it out.
Okay, so, and we have somebody detained, correct?
There were
That I don't know.
people detained on this side.
Our guy that was just up here told me that there's a guy detained who's the owner of the bike. And I said, no, that's the owner of the bike.
So they even knew about the bike. This is moments afterwards. They knew that he had a bike. They knew that he had a ladder. They knew he had a gun. They knew he was on the fucking roof, and they didn't stop him. The director, by the way, resigned yesterday, but who cares?
Yeah, basically, when I got
We've been up
The
here.
director of Secret Service resigned yesterday. If you haven't heard, Miss Cheeto, she's out. And guess who? Guess what? Joe Biden gets to appoint a new director of the Secret Service. So you'll probably get the same thing.
We just hauled ass. We got over here.
Got it.
We hopped up on the roof.
That's no problem. Is that all your stuff?
that was one of our
Yeah, so someone came up looking to treat him and this director.
Yes.
Copy. Gas is off to the building, just so you know.
Thank you.
Where's the bullet? That's what I want. I want the bullet. The bullet that killed Trump is historical. Or not killed Trump, but shot at Trump. That hit Trump in the ear. Where is that bloody bullet, man? That should be, I'm telling you, that should be in the fucking museum of Washington, D.C., right? Over in some museum over there.
He had some.
Yeah, they do. I talked to the guy. They were those people detained were filming.
The American Water was notified. They authorized.
Maybe they were involved. Maybe they weren't.
will start somebody.
Other than that, I haven't heard anybody.
Well, I think it's the guys that saw them filming were like, oh, they were filming us, and then filming the guy up on the roof, and then filming us, and then when shots started firing, they like tried to run.
Why did you fucking wait? You're filming the guy on the roof with a gun. This is fucked up. Why didn't the Secret Service engage this guy? A guy laying on the roof. And don't tell me it all happened so fast, because this is different. This is a fucking young man laying on the roof with a fucking high-powered rifle, and the president of the United States is 100 yards away.
Run away. He's like, isn't that what everybody would do that have a phone? You know, I'm not saying they weren't phones, but you know what I mean? Like that.
It's up in the air right now. Right?
Thank you, Senator Grassley, for getting this video for us.
Right. So I got no problem detaining them. But again, I'm just trying to detain those guys, find out what they know, who they are, whatever. I'm trying to get clear information to relay back to DC.
Bring control for the water tower.
We have one shooter deceased. I think we have 3 victims in the crowd. Is that, did you guys hear that too?
That I'm not sure.
So I heard 1 deceased, 2 life flighted.
It's very professional. The shooters, and the somebody. I'm telling you, man, it's starting to look like what Marjorie Taylor Greene said. Someone told him to stand down. Someone said, "Stand down, motherfucker." Right? Why else wouldn't you engage? See, that's the missing link right there. Who told the Secret Service to stand down? Who told the Secret Service to not engage the guy? When a Secret Service guy, a sniper on a roof, sees another man with a gun, right, endangering the president, he radios in and says, I got a sniper on the roof. And someone comes back and says, just don't do anything, right? Those guys they don't have permission to unload their gun on the guy. They have to get some kind of permission. They got to get some kind of higher, to engage. They need permission to engage. So if these sharpshooters requested someone, they asked someone behind the scenes that they're supposed to ask their supervisors to engage the shooter, right? Then there's evidence in there that someone told them to stand down because they asked and they were denied because they didn't engage the shooter. You follow that thinking?
I know 2 helicopters did take off.
Yeah, okay.
So I don't know how many victims.
Where your defeat?
One command. We have access to a drone. Clear this water tower.
Any LE?
No.
Eternal Fidelity says they have permission to engage. I don't know about that. I'm not sure of that. I think they need. You can't just shoot somebody You can't just shoot somebody. There's got to be some sort of mutual permission. But you might be right. I don't know. I think that they. I don't know the answer to that, but I would think that the shooters definitely need some sort of very, very quick supervisory approval to engage. Like when police arrest somebody, before they make the arrest, they have to ask a supervisor before they do it.
I will try to confirm.
That was the one that was
In the van. Did he survive? Copy.
All right, you can see some.
All right, so there you go. There's the Chuck Grassley. Thank you. So that's kind of breaking news. We learned a little bit about the weapon and the position of the shooter, and the fact that it looks like it was pretty real to me. So these are the latest polls. July 23rd, yesterday. Look at this. How the polls are tightening. General election, Trump by 1 over Harris. This is NPR reporting. NPR PBS Morris polls. In 2 other ones, they have a tie. All right. So a few days ago, we were looking at Trump by 5. Now we're looking at Trump by 1, tie. Yahoo News has Trump by 2. Morning Consultants, Trump by 2. Reuters has Harris up by 2 fucking points. Holy smokes. All right. So those are the general polls. It looks like the polls are definitely tightening. Trump better pull out the fucking heavy artillery, man. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about affirmative action, right? What is affirmative action? And why does it matter right now when you have, well, I say it matters because of Kamala Harris. She is the first presidential candidate, the highest affirmative action placement in the history of America. If she were to succeed at becoming president, she would have been selected president on the basis of her race and her gender. And that is so unconstitutional and so undemocratic and so un-American. So affirmative action, as it pertains to Kamala Harris, refers to a set of policies and practices within a government or organization seeking to benefit marginalized groups. Historically and internationally, support for affirmative action has been justified by the idea it may help with bridging inequalities in employment and pay, increasing access to education, and promoting diversity, social equity, and redressing alleged wrongs, harms, and hindrances. It doesn't say appointing the next fucking president of the United States because she's through affirmative action. So the nature of affirmative action policies varies from region to region, and we know all this. What else can we learn about affirmative action? So here's where affirmative action was overthrown. In 2020, right, this is U.S. Court of Appeals, Harvard Harvard versus Board of Observers. Right? No, what the fuck is that? What's the case? The case is students for fair admission versus Harvard. All right, students versus Harvard. And where is the ruling? I just want to get to the ruling. So yeah, on June 29 in the year 2023, that was last year at this time, Supreme Court issued a decision in Harvard that by a 6-2 vote reversed the lower court ruling. In writing the majority opinion, Justice John Roberts held that affirmative action in college admissions is unconstitutional. Right. And you say, well, this is not a college admission with Kamala Harris. Well, it's right up there with it, right? It is affirmative action in a civil kind of governmental kind of public way. So it violates the 14th Amendment. I'm not going to get into what the fuck that means, but it definitely violates the 14th Amendment. And there is your evidence that affirmative action has been already ruled unconstitutional by the high court, at least in one case and in 2023. So I asked the Chat GPT, when a black woman is picked for the job mainly because she is a black woman, is this discrimination? I asked ChatGPT that. Whether selecting a black woman for a job primarily because of her race and gender constitutes discrimination is a nuisance issue. No, it's not. And then the cheap ChatGPT says reverse discrimination, mediocrity. No, it is discrimination. It's the definition of discrimination. So this is where we came from. This is the poor blacks of America. Here they got rhythm. They got rhythm. This is the 1970s African Americans dancing their ass off, right? How come there's no white people? Oh, white people, they can't dance. The whites, there's no white people here because they be dancing all wrong. So this is young people dancing. There's kids dancing. It definitely got rhythm, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. There's some rhythm in there, right? There's no music, no sound to it. And, so the poor black children of the 70s, which Kamala Harris could have been in the crowd. Kamala Harris in the 1970s, she'd be about...
The things you need.
She'd be about 6 or 7 years old. What's this guy talking about? What's she talking about, brother?
Not the things you want. We're not asking what we want. We want the things we need. You're not looking for any happiness. That's just a dream. There's too many addicts dreaming now. We're trying to get away from the dream. We want to get into the reality of things, And the reality of things is that
What the fuck is he talking about? There's some more young children playing. I don't know what I'm watching right now. More black children dancing. All right, so that's where Kamala Harris comes from, and even the Black Lives Matter crowd. Can you imagine this? Listen to this report. Black Lives Matter has come out against the Democrats for picking Kamala Harris not because she's a black woman, but because of the reality that there was no election. She was never vetted by the American people. Listen to the report.
Check this headline out. Black Lives Matter says Dems are party of hypocrites for installing Harris sans public voting process. They're not wrong. And let's not forget, this is a massive surprise coming from BLM. Because Kamala Harris, back in 2020, when they were busy rioting, literally burning cities down, she was their biggest fan. She was. Watch this clip. This is Kamala Harris. This is, the Trumps. Hey, Trumps, get on this video. Here's the video of her co-signing the violence and the uprising in the country, right? If you talk about seditious conspiracy, if you want to talk about insurrection and inciting violence, listen to Kamala Harris's words right here.
They're not going to stop. And this is a movement. I'm telling you, they're not going to stop. And everyone beware, because they're not going to stop. They're not going to stop before Election Day in November, and they're not going to stop after Election Day. And everyone should take note of that on both levels, that they're not going to let up, and they should not.
They should not let up. She's inciting the Black Lives Matter, George Floyd flukies, right, that burn the fucking cities of America to the ground, promoting it.
And we should not.
Right? But the January 6th people that showed up at Congress to voice their constitutional, right to know that the elections in America are fair and just, those people are serving 20, 30 years in jail. Something's not right.
And they should not let up. Okay, yeah, just keep burning America to the ground. This is so called for.
William R. Hall says, who voted Vance in? Well, that's a good point. Vance is not a elected. He's a senator, but he's not elected. If you don't look, that's a good point. If you don't like the rules of how the vice president is picked, then let's change the rules. Right? Let's change those rules. Why is the vice president not elected to be vice president? He's certainly part of the ticket once he's on there, but he wasn't elected to be in the in that seat. And I agree with that. Maybe that's a bad policy in America. Maybe that's a loophole that needs to be closed. Why is the vice president not properly vetted? Shouldn't the the way it used to be historically is that whoever loses this is the way it used to be in America, by the way. The right would run against the left, and whoever lost would become the vice president for the other party. Right? So, in this case, if Trump wins, Kamala Harris would become the vice president. That's how America used to operate. So, thank you for bringing that up. I don't know the answer to that. I don't know. I think that if you don't like that rule, we can go back to the other rule, right? I think we'd be much better off if the loser became the vice president, right? Wouldn't that work, right? Think about it, right? Hillary Clinton would have been Trump's VP. And once these politicians get into power, they fall in love with each other. You would have had Trump and fucking Hillary Clinton in love, right? Kissing in the Oval Office.
It's very surprising that here we are 4 years later, and even BLM, these Marxists to the bone, people who literally were just rioting through America in the name of George Floyd and the injustice done to Black Americans throughout the ages, they themselves have called out the Democrat Party for being undemocratic.
Yeah. Like you said, I can't believe we're all sitting here saying, yeah, BLM, I know. You're on the money. I mean, normally they're more proficient at, burning cities than making acute and astute political observations. But they said, quote, we do not live in a dictatorship. Now, I thought it was Donald Trump who was the dictator.
Right. Donald Trump was the dictator. But now we see the dictatorship in the Democratic Party, the totalitarian. You will vote for our person or fuck you. You have nowhere to go. You don't want to crawl into Trump's bosom, do you? See, I think that if you made the losing candidate the vice president, no picking the vice president, right? The loser becomes the vice president, and then that is the reconciliation. The loser is a heartbeat away from the presidency, right? Does the loser who becomes vice president spend all their time plotting to kill the president so he could take power, or she'd take power? Maybe.
Supposed to be the dictator.
But the BLM movement, they're saying of the Democrats, we don't live in a dictatorship. Delegates are not oligarchs. Installing Kamala Harris as the Democrat nominee without any public voting process would make the modern-day Democrat Party a party of hypocrites.
They're already fucking becoming a party of hypocrites. Here's Kamala Harris. A lot has been said about the coconut tree remark. I don't really get it, but watch how Watch how quirky and ridiculous fucking Kamala Harris is here. I think she's a bit of a drunk. I think she may be drunk right here.
The culture of the environment. How are we approaching this issue in a way that we also understand we cannot?
She doesn't know how to stay out of the cameras when you're drinking. Stay home, Jamaica.
Support and help our young people if we also don't also look at the context in which those young people live and are being raised, which means necessarily, because our edict and our mission is not to come out and say, well, we could do this better. Part of the extension of the work you will do is, yes, focused on our young leaders and our young people, but understanding we also then have to be clear about the needs of their parents.
She doesn't say anything substantial. She talks and it's just connect the word salad. It's garbage what she's talking about. I don't get any sensation of, oh, that was right. Oh, she's right there. I like her stance on marijuana. I think she'll probably remove, if they ever can, remove marijuana from the Schedule 1 as a Schedule 1 drug.
And their
make it legal already.
Grandparents and their teachers and their communities.
Quinn Smith says it's the alcohol talking. She's an alcoholic. There she is, drunk.
Because none of us just live in...
She goes to see, this is affirmative action. You put this affirmative action candidate up there. She's at the cocktail parties and the bars are open and you don't have to reach in your pocket to drink anything. And she says, you know what? I have myself a martini.
In a silo.
And then this is what you get. This is 2 martinis later.
Everything is in context. My mother she would give us a hard time sometimes, and she would say to us, I don't know what's wrong with you young people. You think you just fell out of a coconut tree?
There you go, man. All the years of this we're going to have. Come on, Trump, wake up. Here's Kamala Harris on stage with Tulsi Gabbard.
I want to bring the conversation back to the broken criminal justice system that is disproportionately negatively impacting black and brown people all across this country today. Now, Senator Harris says she's proud of her record as a prosecutor and that she'll be a prosecutor president, but I'm deeply concerned about this record. There are too many examples to cite, but she put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana. She blocked evidence. She blocked evidence that would have freed an innocent man from death row until the courts forced her to do so. She kept people in prison beyond their sentences to use them as cheap labor for the state of California. And she fought to keep cash bail system in place that impacts poor people in the worst kind of way.
Thank you, Congresswoman. Senator Harris, your response.
That was a super takedown by Tulsi Gabbard. So back to Kamala Harris being appointed. This is Joe Biden appointing the Supreme Court justice. If you don't believe me, here's the video of him saying it. Biden pledges to pick black woman to Supreme Court. Affirmative action at the highest levels of government.
Good afternoon.
Fucking senile Joe. Tell it to us, Joe. Give it to us.
Choosing someone to sit in the Supreme Court, I believe, is one of the most serious constitutional responsibility a president has. Our process is going to be rigorous.
Yeah.
I will select a nominee worthy of Justice Breyer's legacy of excellence and decency. While I've been studying candidates' backgrounds and writings, I've made no decision except one. The person I will nominate will be someone with extraordinary qualifications, character, experience, and integrity. And that person will be the first black woman ever nominated to the United States Supreme Court.
So there you go. Joe Biden, in his own words, right, at the highest level of government, and this is 2 years ago. It's before the Supreme Court ruled that affirmative action in colleges is unconstitutional. What Joe Biden is doing right here is at today's measure is technically unconstitutional, right? Because if you can't get into a college anymore because you're a black woman on the sole basis of being a black woman, why should you be the Supreme Court justice because you're a black woman? The same rules apply, Joe. See, that's why Joe is old in the head. Right? It's good that he's gone.
It's long overdue, in my view. Today, Justice Breyer announces his
It's long overdue, in my view. Right? That's his view. That's Joe Biden's view.
intention to step down from active service after.
All right, so there's Joe Biden on the record saying that Ketanji Jackson Brown was picked because she's a black woman. Racist. Affirmative action in play.
A daily basis are very concerned that, black women in particular have been the heartbeat of the
And Joy Reid is the ultimate racist right here. Watch how Joe handles the racist.
Democratic Party for a long time, really shored you up in places like South Carolina. Are you committed to naming a black woman as your vice presidential running mate?
That should be a question like that from the media should be outrageous. You should say, no, we don't pick people on the basis of their color. We pick people on the basis of their merit. If we look for the most outstanding fucking person, right? But that's not what Joe Biden did. He's lying when he says that, if he says it.
I am not committed to naming any but the people I've named, and among them there are 4 black women. So
I named 4.5 people, and 4 of them are black women.
Decision is underway right now. And by the way, black women have supported me my entire career.
Joe, what is a woman? Most people in your party don't know what a woman is. You say a woman, and you ask them, can you define a woman? They say, no, I can't define a woman. And then they say, I'm the first woman running for president. I'm the first black woman. But what is a woman if you can't even define what a woman is? Right?
You all act like all of a sudden there was an epiphany in South Carolina. I have had over a 94% rating in the state with the 8th largest black community in the United States of America, Delaware. And so
see, here's the deal. Here's the deal in black America right now. Black America, blacks are happy right now. Right? The racist blacks, the people that are very, very low information, low whatever, right? Low fucking pulse, right? Are happy right now. They got the white man out the way. Right? The white man is now out the way. We got to vote for Kamala. Right? Kamala becomes the black, surge, right? Black. She's black, mama. She's a black woman running, and she's gonna win. Right? That doesn't help the country, my friends. None of that helps the country. Is that actually happening? Are there more happy blacks today than there were yesterday a few days ago before Kamala Harris was on the stage? Yes, and yes. Go look outside and you'll see smiling blacks.
They're the ones, as that old saying goes, that brought me to the dance. I have been loyal. They have been loyal to me. And so it is important that my administration,
They were loyal to you? That's what you do as president? You're loyal? The loyalty? I thought Trump, they almost threw Trump in jail for demanding loyalty. And now Joe's loyal to the blacks. Wow, the hypocrisies.
Will look like America, both as from vice president to Supreme Court to cabinet.
What does America look like, Joe? Who the fuck are you to tell me what America looks like, you hypocrite? COVID killed Joe Biden.
Positions.
Did COVID kill Joe Biden?
To every major position in the White House. It's going to look like America. It's critically important that be the case. I can guarantee you that.
Have you narrowed down your choices?
Well, I'll tell you what's happening. We're getting the detailed analysis that has...
Detailed analysis, right? What do you want to do? You want to check and see how the detailed analysis, how black is she? Right? How much of a woman is she? Have we ever seen the luggage? Have we ever seen what's behind the curtain? How do we know she's a woman? Right? Is that the detailed investigation, Joe?
Done. I've been through one of these vets, as they say. Yeah. It takes about 6 weeks, and you go into everything. It's like having a public...
So there it is. Joe Biden saying it's black women. What else we got here?
During this process, you look for someone who, like Justice Breyer, has a pragmatic understanding that the law must work.
And there's Joe's legacy right there, picking the racist Joe Biden. He's so guilty. He feels he's got such white shame. He's full of fucking white privilege shame, he says in his mind. I have to pick black women. If I don't, then I'm a racist. It's Joe Biden.
For the American people. Someone who has historical perspective to understand that the Constitution is a resilient charter of liberty.
Right. So Joe, now having said that, you're going to agree that the 14th Amendment, you violate the 14th Amendment with what you're doing, assigning people, pushing people to the front of the line based on race and color.
Someone with the wisdom to appreciate that the Constitution protects certain inalienable rights, rights that fall within the most fundamental personal freedoms that our society recognizes.
Oh, really, Joe?
In the end, someone with extraordinary character will bring to the Supreme Court an independent mind, uncompromising integrity.
And there she is, the little brown girl who won the prize. I won. Mommy, I'm going to be the Supreme Court Justice. You won't believe it. Joe Biden picked me over all of the other whites.
And with a strong,
all of the other more qualified whites.
Moral compass and the courage to stand up for what she thinks is right. For too long, our government, our courts, haven't looked like America.
Really?
I believe it's time that we have a court that reflects the full talents and greatness of our nation with a nominee of extraordinary qualifications. And that we inspire all young people to believe that they can one day serve their country at the highest level.
This is a despicable part of history that is going to be looked at, right? Joe Biden is the most racist fucking anti-white president in the history of America, right? Joe's a racist. Joe sees it in he makes his calls in terms of race, right? I wanted to serve with the first black president. Remember when he said that? How could I say no to serving as vice president with the first black president, right? With Obama.
I've admired these traits of pragmatism, historical perspective, wisdom, character in the jurists nominated by Republican presidents as well as Democratic presidents. And today, I'm pleased to introduce to the American people a candidate who continues in this great tradition. I'm pleased to nominate Judge Jackson, who will bring extraordinary qualifications, deep experience and intellect.
And black skin and a vagina. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. So I'm out of time. Let's just look quickly at the markets, very quickly. Almost out of time over here. And, Trump stock getting crushed. What time is it? 9:49 New York time. We're open. Wow, NASDAQ down. What the fuck? Tesla sinks as earnings fall off Wall Street hopes. NASDAQ down 320. That's significant. Dow Jones Industrial Average down 188. S&P 500 down 60. Everything is red this morning. Good morning. Because of Tesla, down 10%, 11% right now. They missed earnings. Elon Musk never said to, buy Tesla at this moment. He's always said, don't buy my stock. When I say buy, it goes down. When I say sell, it goes up. So all technology is down right now. Google down, Apple down, Amazon down, Meta down 16 points. Microsoft down 5. Techs are getting slammed right now. Bitcoin still pushing forward, up $600 today to 66,000. Lockheed Martin up $6 a share. The war stocks: Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, and Boeing. These are your military industrial complex stocks. Those are everything down. Lockheed Martin is up 7. I don't know why that is. Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, Moderna, the historical great pharmaceuticals that gave you the holy vaccine, mixed. Moderna down 3. It's continuing. Moderna's plunging. Moderna, during the pandemic, when vaccines were mandated on people, pushed on them, Moderna was $500 a share. Now, no sign of vaccine, $117 a share. Do you see what's going on? Do you see that? You see that action right there? All right, so markets are down this morning, and I want to play this. This is a AI translation of a Hitler speech from 1922. Now, I want you to listen to what he says, right? Just with a grain of salt. Hitler, great historic figure, I don't know, great, that's a bad word, a a well-known historic figure, responsible for almost bringing the world to its knees during the 1940s, said this about democracy. Listen to what Hitler said about two-party system and democracy. Right? I want to say one last thing about Joe Biden, his age as a governor. Right? I don't really see a problem with Joe Biden finishing out the term. I think that's better than appointing Kamala Harris, that would be a bad idea. The Republicans should just let it ride. Right? Let Joe Biden stay there. If Joe Biden is kicked out of office, you get Kamala Harris as the president. You don't want that. Right? You want Joe Biden. Look, historically, old people have been able to govern. Right? All the kings of England, some of them lived until they couldn't even walk. Look at the popes. Right? All the popes have been in their 80s, some of them in wheelchairs. Right? Or the king of Thailand, who was a recluse for 10 years because he couldn't speak. It doesn't necessarily, all of the levers of power are in place already. You don't want to yank that guy unless he's totally incompetent, unless he's a vegetable. Right? Leave him there. He's fine. Right? Just leave him out in the public eye so we know what kind of condition he's in. Right? And ride it out. I don't see a problem with Biden's age finishing out the term. The elected official finishes out his term and says goodbye. That's good enough, right? Just don't run again, right? So, but here's Hitler on democracy. Let's listen, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Themselves.
Marcus Conte reporting. Well, I'll stay with you for a second. Let's listen to some of Hitler.
This prevented anti-Semitism from gaining fundamental power in these countries. The same was true of France. Precisely because of this, however, it was possible to introduce in these countries the system known as democracy.
Right. So here we have Hitler saying the introduction of democracy. Right. This was the introduction of democracy in 1920s. Listen.
Precisely in these countries, it was possible to establish a form of government that could mean nothing but the outweighing of intelligence and true energy by the sheer dead weight of the masses. In other words, it was possible there for the small class of Jewish intelligentsia hidden in the British people to manipulate the broad masses with playful ease in such a way that the latter, unaware of whom they were obeying, served the purposes of this small class. There,
he really hated the Jews. He really saw the Jews as always creating a state within a state and never wanting to acclimate, never wanting to become part of the country that they lived in. And Jewish people are like that. Look all over the world. Right? Look in the neighborhoods of New York City, where it's only, Hasidic Jews. That's it. That's all you get.
With press propaganda and control of information, it was possible to found the prototypical large parties. Even back then, there were always 2 or 3 groups that appeared to be fighting against each other.
Right.
But in reality, were all hanging on a gold thread, and everything was adjusted to a peculiar human characteristic. That man gets tired of something he has had for a long time.
Watch what he talks about how the parties, he's talking about the invention of a two-party system or multiple party system and how they switch back and forth. Right? Whatever Hitler means to you historically, this is what he said.
He wants something new, and so 2 parties were needed. One of them rules, and the other one forms the opposition. When one party is played out, the opposition party comes to power.
When one party is played out, the opposition party comes to power. Right? Is that what isn't true about that?
And the played out party now takes its turn as the opposition.
Right.
After 20 years, the new party becomes played out, and the game repeats itself anew. In reality, this is certainly an ingenious mill in which the interests of a nation are ground down. As is well known, such a thing is called self-government of a people. In the process, we always find 2 main buzzwords, freedom and democracy.
Listen to what Hitler says about freedom and democracy, how you view it. Freedom for the oligarchs is freedom to enslave people and do whatever the fuck they want. To the people, it means some sort of other freedom. Listen to Hitler's analysis of freedom and democracy right here. Listen to this.
As figureheads, freedom is understood to mean, at least among the authoritative bodies that actually govern, the possibility of plundering the broad masses without limits or resistance.
Plundering the broad masses. That's what he said. That's what freedom means to the oligarchs. We can plunder, we can do whatever the fuck we want to them. We have freedom.
Masses themselves, of course, believe that freedom means the exercise of a very particular freedom of movement, both freedom of movement of the tongue and freedom to move about the streets, etc.
See that right there is very revealing. I'll leave it there. I'll let it play out. But what he's saying about freedom and democracy is how the establishment sees it one way. The people in power. Yeah, freedom. We want more freedom to do what the fuck we want. And in those actions, they're oppressing people. Right. Right. Look, all of this makes the argument. All of this very, very ugly, dirty politic that we talk about makes the argument for not dictatorship, but certainly king. Right? The kings of the world, the leaders of the world, true leaders, people that rise up from the muck. Well, maybe not in the case of England because it's a bloodline, but the idea of even a bad king is better than no king. Marcus Conte reporting.
A bitter deception. On the whole, we can say that England, as well as France, put on the chains of slavery already back then. With a bronze firmness, these states are in Jewish chains as long as the Jew himself does not feel the necessity and expediency of a change in this condition. This change will also occur there in the foreseeable future. Now, what is the difference between this Western Europe on the one hand and Eastern and Central Europe on the other? Here, industrialization did not happen as quickly. The masses streamed more slowly from the static countryside into the cities. Only slowly did the large cities develop here, and it took a long time for a fourth estate